Hi guys, today we'll be reviewing the Chinese Oatlon WZ-501S speakers that I got off AliExpress for $250, and that was including shipping. Shipping was done by the railroad, so it took 2 months and 1 day, quite long, but I didn't have to pay any additional customs fees when they got here. I don't know how they do that, but there was absolutely no additional fee. Okay, so why I got them? I got them for a couple of reasons. The first one was obviously because they look like well-known Boris & Wilkins 805 Nautilus range. The other reason was that they were cheap and they were looking extremely well on the photos. And the third one was that I was very curious about the quality of the Chinese speakers after all of the speaker amp clones and preamplifier clones that I've reviewed in my channel. So they're here and they've been burning for like 2.5 weeks, something like that. It's not necessary to do that for that long. The reason I did that was simply because for 1 week I was away from home and they have been here and playing. Okay, so links for the system setup that I was using during my tests is in the description under the video. You'll find also the store link in the description for the video. And now let's move to the specification of these speakers. Well, there are two specifications. The first one is on the sticker in the back. Let's see if we can zoom in for you to see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that now. Nominal impedance 4 ohms, amplifier power recommended 70 watts and between 70 watts and 150 watts, sensitivity 92 decibels, and the frequency range between 55 Hz and 40 kHz. The second specification can be found in the AliExpress offer and it's quite different. The recommended amplifier power is between 50 and 100 watts, the impedance is between 4 and 8 ohms, and the frequency range is between 20 Hz and 25 kHz, with obviously the lower end of spectrum is fairy tale. And these are too small to reach 20 or 35 Hz. Okay, and the sensitivity in the description in the offer is 89 decibels. Okay, so now what I think about the specs. The frequency range, obviously the lower end of the spectrum is not true. My ears tell me that these are going somewhere in area of 60 or 70 Hz. You can hear lower sounds, lower frequencies, but there is a roll off and they will be quieter. Okay, as for the specified power, I will get back to this at the end of the review, but yes, it's a power hungry speaker. It's not very easy to drive, and the sensitivity figures, I think that 89 decibels is closer to reality. I would even risk to go as low as 87, 88, definitely not 92. The pair of the speaker weighs 12 kilograms, so they are pretty heavy, and they are coming in one single box, and internally they are well protected with foam, not only on the top, on the top and on the bottom, but also on the sides. There is a special kind of wrap around them, so they were protected very well for the transport time. Okay, having specs out of the way, a couple of things that I've measured using my tweezers. You may remember them from one of my reviews. These are able to measure not only the resistance, but they are able to measure impedance, and for the impedance measuring you can choose the frequency of the measurement. So I've done 3 measurements for 3 frequencies that this tool is capable of, and for 100 Hz I've measured 18 ohms. For 1 kilohertz I've measured 7.2 ohms, and for 10 kilohertz I've measured 6.4 ohms. So basically this explains why they are not very easy to drive. On the other hand, they will not be a heavy load on the amplifier. So let's look at the bright side. Okay, now the build quality. And yes, we will be looking inside, but I need to switch the speakers for that because I have one of them disassembled. Okay, so it's using a speaker grill with mesh like that. It's actually quite nice. We have a brand name here, and it's not mounted using any kind of magnetic mount. It's using traditional pegs for the holes in the speaker here. The speaker is quite small. Let me just give me a second. I'll get my measuring tape. Okay, so we have the tape, and the thing is that although it looks like 805 from Bowers & Wilkins, it's smaller. It's like scaled down model. So we have something like 12 centimeters here. To the top we'll have something like 36, and the depth of the speaker will be like 26.5 centimeter, 27 including this. Okay, so they are small. They are on the small side. They sound quite nice, but let's get back to the build. We have a bass port flow here, and it's having this small, I don't know how to call them, maybe not exactly holes, but this looks like a copy of Bowers & Wilkins airflow ports. We have a treble driver mounted here, but this is only for decoration purposes. We have 2 speaker tabs in the back, as you can see, and the finish is really nice. Let's take a closer look. It looks really good. I wasn't expecting that kind of premium quality finish on that kind of cheap speaker, and it's basically flawless. I mean, there are no problems on the edges, there are no problems in the places when the black paint comes in, so it looks very good. And if you take a look from the outside, you may notice that this speaker box does not have any kind of parallel surfaces. It's not exactly true when you take a look on the inside, but nevertheless it's a very nice shape of a speaker, and that's why probably they got it from Bowers & Wilkins. The main driver itself is also different. Obviously it's smaller. Let's measure that. The driver itself inside is something like 11.5 centimeters with the suspension. Without the suspension it's something like 8.5 centimeters, so it's smaller. The treble driver is like 3.5 centimeters, and the treble driver seems to be silk dome. This one feels like a proper Kevlar driver. One other thing, you can hear that it's actually pretty inert. It doesn't sound as a cheap speaker box. cheap speaker boxes will sound empty and they will have echoes inside. So that's actually good. Okay, what else on the outside? Not much. Very good finish quality. The bass port, the drivers, the black back, and let's take a look inside. It will be a tricky thing because I need to take the other one and you'll understand why in a minute. Okay, we're back with another speaker and it will be a tricky thing because I don't want to damage it. Okay, so in order to disassemble the speaker, you need to remove the plastic ring here. You can do that by just pulling from the inside. The driver itself is being held by 4 screws, but if you've read my YouTube social feed, you may remember that I told you that there is a hot glue around the driver, and it's easy to remove. I think it doesn't serve any other purpose than to protect the driver from moving during transport, and it's not a very hard thing to remove it, but you need to be careful when you will be operating anything sharp near to the speaker and to your hands, especially because as long as it will heal and scratches here will not. So let's remove the driver. Let's try to do this in this position. Yep. The thing is that everything inside is soldered. It's not using any kind of inserts here on the driver. You can see the description on the driver, and as you can see, the speaker box is stamped steel. So the first thing I'm gonna do here, the first modification, will be the same thing I have done a few videos about, so basically dampen the speaker basket. Okay, that's for the mid-range driver, and I have to keep it like that because this surface is very rough, and when I was disassembling the speaker for the first time, I've put the driver on the speaker box and I have a few scratches somewhere here. Okay, the treble driver. The treble driver is actually a funny thing because you just unscrew this. Yeah, that's all. Just a second. Yep, and it's undone. It looks like that. No markings whatsoever, but it is quite large. It's not a small treble driver, it's actually quite large. There is nothing inside the tube, so it serves just aesthetical purposes. Okay, let's get that one back inside. Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. Okay, and now we'll be able to screw it back. Okay, so what else is inside is a crossover network. Can I take it? Yeah. As I said, it's tricky. Okay, so the crossover is a simple one, which is a good thing. The coils are quite good. This one is air core coil. This one has iron core. The capacitors are very cheap, which is a very good thing in my book, because I'll be able to upgrade this speaker in a very simple way. Okay, I had to pause the video for a second because it's tricky to have it like that. The coils are nice, and the capacitors are not very nice, and that's actually something that I'm happy for, because it's easy to upgrade the speaker, and you should upgrade this, because although it sounds very good, and that's a spoiler, we'll get to the sound quality in a few minutes, it will sound even better with this capacitor replaced with some kind of MKP foil capacitor like Janssen or Mandorf. This one is 4.7 microfarads, and the electrolytic one down there is 18 microfarads. And I've already ordered a set of Janssen capacitors for both speakers. The lower one I got in bipolar version because it's not clearly marked with minus or plus signs. So anyway, both the set of capacitors for both speakers set me back like whole $10, and I'm sure the speakers will be even better with capacitors replaced. As I said, everything is soldered here. I don't know if it's for quality purposes or for just saving some money on inserts, but you can also replace the speaker wires inside to get the better quality. Okay, so let's leave it like that, and I will switch to the other speaker because I want to tell you how do they sound. Okay, so we're back for the most important part of the review. Don't mind me playing with the speaker. I love this rotatable stand, so it's a very nice thing. Okay, so the sound. The bass. The bass is tight and controlled, though it doesn't go super low, but this comes directly because of the size of the driver here. You shouldn't expect miracles, but the good thing is that the bass is controlled. It's very tight, it's not flabby or muddy. I would recommend using subwoofer with these speakers, but with a right amplifier, powerful amplifier, they will still sound quite okay in the lower regions. I mean, you won't be missing subwoofer that much, but they will sound their best if you can augment them with subwoofer. Mid bass is very controlled. They will not try to fake the extension in the bass region by adding some mid bass. Many smaller speakers try to mask the lack of the lower extension by having a hump in the mid bass. So you will feel like there is more bass than it is in reality. These do not something like that, and I like that. I do not like this type of mid-bass humps in smaller speakers. It seems like the speaker prefers quality over quantity, which is also something I prefer. And the bass gets better with higher volumes and with more powerful amplifiers. I won't say it will shake your ground, but it can actually hit pretty hard in higher volume levels. Okay, getting to the mid-range. The mid-range is absolutely gorgeous. It's very open and it's very detailed. It's very fast. This probably comes from the material used here. As I said, I really think this is a Kevlar, this yellow membrane here. Mid-range is open and very transparent. This is a very good driver. The brass instruments sound super nice. For example, if you've heard Fallout 3 theme played by London Philharmonic Orchestra, there is a nice set of brass instruments at the beginning of the track. If you haven't heard that track, try it. It's a great piece of interesting instrumental music, and it's a great delivery by London Philharmonic Orchestra. Also, the voices. The voices are very natural and they are very detailed. You can hear that, for example, in Baba Yetu. There is a choir. If you've seen my previous reviews, this is one of the songs that serve for me for checking the detail level in the mid-range. Because if you're able to hear the voices in the choir as a separate voices, then it means that you have a good equipment setup. If you hear the choir as one voice, then you're missing fine detail and fine granularity of the sound, if I may say something like that. The treble is very well extended. It's nowhere near 40 kilohertz as the first specification says. I'd say it's closer to 25 maybe. It's not like I'm having bad hearing, but the treble really is extended. For example, and this is something that surprised me, I'll have to check that with the rest of my equipment. As you can see, for example, I have Martin Logan speakers down there. This is the first speaker that I've heard a slight whine on right channel in the song Hey Now by London Grammar. I have a rip of this song that was done from vinyl to 88 kilohertz flag, and the thing is that I haven't heard earlier the sound on the right channel. When I was listening and testing these speakers, at the beginning I thought there is something wrong with them when that track started, but I paused the music and it was quiet. When I restarted the track, it started again. So there is a slight whine in very high registers. This is an error, some kind of problem with the rip, but the thing is that I haven't noticed that earlier in my different setups. So that's interesting thing. The treble is nicely detailed, it's open and it's airy, and with lower powered amps, the treble can be on a dry side. It's not harsh exactly, but I'm sure that many of you have heard that. If you have power demanding, power hungry speakers, and if you will feed them with too little power, one of the symptoms will be the treble. The treble will not be smooth, and it's the case here. If the amplifier will not provide enough juice for the treble driver, it will be kind of dry. Also, this probably comes from the capacitor inside that's used for the treble driver. But if you will provide the speakers with enough power, the treble gets very smooth and very nice. And that's why I said I'm actually happy for the crossover to be using low quality parts, because I really believe that there is more to get from these drivers with better quality parts in the crossover. Okay, I've already said a couple of words about detail, but moving to that part of the review. The speakers have amazing detail. Remember, these were $250 delivered, so they are cheaper than the cheapest entry-level ELAC speakers, which are also very good speakers, but these are still about 1/3 cheaper than the cheapest ELACs, and these are better than ELACs. Make no mistakes, these are better. They have great detail. You can, for example, you can hear all inhales in Hymn to the Fallen by John Williams. There is an orchestra playing, and they are doing inhales when they need to get some air, when they are playing trumpets, and you can clearly hear musicians inhale air, which is one of the things that I'm checking in this track when I'm looking for detail when I'm testing equipment. Okay, again, next good thing, when you will be raising volume with the speaker, they will not lose detail. They will remain as detailed as with lower listening levels. So this is also something very good in my book, because I'm usually listening in lower to mid volume levels. I'm not listening very loud. I'm looking for pleasure and for detail, for musicality, not for the volume in my equipment. The detail here transfers a lot of ambient sounds, a lot of things that are happening in the backplanes of the music. And this brings us to scene and imaging. These speakers have very good left and right imaging. They have a good depth, and they also have some height information. Not much, but it's there. The imaging gets better when they are pointing towards your location. So you shouldn't set them up parallel like that. You should set them up firing directly towards your listening position. This is the way you'll get the best imaging and holography with these speakers. And they have excellent center image. When you remove the taurine, when you set them more and more parallel, you'll hear that the scene will lose the three-dimensionality. It will be flat. The stereo imaging for left and right will still be okay, but the center image won't be as precise, and you will lose all the depth information, which is actually a very funny thing, because with something like that stand, you can easily change that during listening to your track, and you can hear like the flat plane changes into a three-dimensional picture. So this is something nice, and I actually liked imaging on these. Okay, now to the pairing with different amps. As I said, these are not very efficient speakers, and I've measured 3 points, not the full diagram, not the full impedance flow, but the 3 points that I've measured show that these are quite high impedance speakers, so they will not be very easy to drive. They like current, which means that the best pairings I had were with powerful solid-state amplifiers, but they've paired also very well with Cayenne over there. Cayenne is, as far as I remember, 45 watts per channel max, but it's able to deliver a lot of current. So this was a good pairing. But I've also checked them with Oatlon using EL54 tube amps. I got that tube amplifier about a week or something like that ago, and it's still going for burn-in, but I was wondering how the pairing will be. And the pairing was showing clearly that they will lack bass with low power output amplifiers, because Oatlon is just 5 watts per channel, and in that pairing there was an amazing mid-range, amazing treble, but basically almost no bass, which still could be fine if you would be using them with some kind of powered subwoofer, feeding subwoofer from the digital to analog converter right before your tube amplifier. In this way, you would have great holography, great mid-range, great treble, and you'll still have great bass coming from your subwoofer. So, all in all, the treble and the mid-range were the stars of the show. The imaging is very, very good. The bass is tight, but these are small speakers. Can you see that? The driver is really small, so do not expect any kind of miracle here. Okay, now getting to the summary of the review and some loose thoughts that I have written down during my listening session yesterday. They can sound really big. If you close your eyes, if you listen to your music, you will not have the feeling that the sound is boxed and coming from something small. So that's a very good quality of the speakers, and it's coming, I suppose, from the high quality chassis. Oh, there was one thing I forgot and I should note. The front plate of the speaker is quite thick. It's something like that. It's more than 2 centimeters. And the top plate, the one here, is not curved on the inside like that. It's flat on the inside. it's even thicker, it's something like that. It seems like the whole top was made from one block of, I don't know, wood fiber, something like that. So anyway, it means that although on the outside there are no two parallel surfaces, on the inside there will be a parallel surface. And which brings me to one more thing that I should show you. There is a brace running through the speaker inside. So, okay, let's finish with the summary and I'll show you the brace. I'll pause the video and I'll place the other speaker on the table and I'll show the brace inside. Okay, so they are small, but they have no problem with dynamics and scale. They have no problem with sudden volume changes. They take them with grace and they sound good. They are very fast and very involving. They sound less three-dimensional when pointed parallel to your position, but they sound great when they are pointing to your sitting place. Okay. I should mention that these have also center speaker available. The line has center speaker available, so they should be no-brainer for the home cinema setups, because then you'll be able to use two of them as fronts, two of them as a back speakers, and a dedicated center speaker that has two mid-range drivers and one treble driver. Okay. Also about the specification here, you can find them on Ali looking for Oatlon name, but in most cases you'll find them as HiFi Fever 4.5 inch speaker or something like that. They are quite popular, but there are actually just a couple of sellers selling them as cheap as $250 delivered. Okay, so all in all, it's an excellent little set of speakers, and they are easily worth at least 2.5 times the price, maybe even more, because I can't honestly think about any other speaker in similar range that would offer similar treble and mid-range. The closest one would be 2.5 times the price for used ones, and this would be probably something from Boris & Wilkins or maybe some kind of DALI speaker. So they have very, very good value for the price, and not only for the price, because you will not get that kind of excellent finish even with 3 or 4 times the price speakers. They look really, really good. Okay, and this is not a print, this is not a vinyl wrap. It looks like a real wood, because I don't know if you can see that. There are some places like this here. It was probably, I won't try to do that. You know, the real wood, when you push it, you can leave the mark, something like that. It won't happen with vinyl wraps, so I would bet on this to be a real wood vinyl. Okay, so additional good thing here is that they have some modding potential. I will mod the speaker baskets. I will replace the capacitors in the crossover. I actually have ordered a set of caps last night, so they should be here within a couple of days, maybe tomorrow, and I'll replace them, and I'll try to do another short video or just to post my impressions after the replacement in my YouTube social feed. I can easily recommend them to everyone. This is a very cheap and really, really good speaker set. Get one, especially for the price with the coupons, especially if you'll be able to get them on some kind of sale, because they are excellent, they are cheap, and there will be no custom fees. Okay, so once again, my test setup details are in the description below the video. The store links are also in the description for the video down below. If you like that video, you're more than welcome to support my channel by buying me a beer via Super Thanks. And I have 2 more Chinese speaker sets coming my way, so stay tuned for more reviews like that one. And now I will do pause on my video and I'll replace that speaker with the one that has been opened, and I'll show you the bracing and the internal structure. Give me a second. Okay, so I have removed the driver and just take a look inside. The first thing is the top of the speaker. As you can see, it's a flat surface parallel to the bottom, and the depth here, I don't know if I can try to show you this. Can you hear that? It's almost that thick in this area. Okay, here we have crossover. It's unscrewed right now, but it's been screwed to the back of the speaker. We have some speaker tabs down in the back, but you should also be able to see the brace. There is a nice brace running along the middle of the speaker, along all 4 walls. So that's a very nice and very clean build. And when I saw photos of that speaker in the offer, I thought that even if it'll sound really bad, I'm willing to pay that price for this speaker box alone. The bottom of the speaker is black, the rubber feet are mine, these are not coming with any kind of fit, but nevertheless, once again, I can only highly recommend the speaker, because it's excellent. It's very cheap, it's excellent, and I will let you know what are the sound changes after replacing the capacitors in the crossover with something of nice quality. So, I hope you enjoyed that little video, and stay tuned for more. Bye guys. Yes, that's me again. I forgot about one more thing. Yes, of course, there is a fill in the speaker, some kind of polyfill. It's not some kind of wool, but there's a lot of filling inside of the cabinet. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that there will be little to none inside, but it actually is, and it's quite nice. Yeah, bye now.